What's up, everybody? Eric here with another EWE Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing Star Trek Lower Decks Season 4, Episode 8. Before we get into that, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, let me know what you want me to review next. The reason I said, I was like, do I say the name of the episodes at this point? I don't think I do, but well, we'll see. So, episode will start off spoiler-free at the beginning, and then we'll go into spoilers after I give you guys a warning. Same old thing I usually do. So yeah, this is Episode 8 of Star Trek Lower Decks. We're getting close to the end, so after this episode, just 2 left. I'm going to be recording the Episode 9 review as well right after this one. I want to try and get both of these out on the same day, and then I want to try and get Episode 10 out, hopefully by Saturday, just so I can get it all in, and then next week, hopefully do a season review. But yeah, guys, this is Star Trek Lower Deck Season 4, Episode 8, Wow, I Am Tired. The title of this episode is Caves. It was released on October 19, 2023. It is directed by Megan Lloyd and written by Ben Rogers. The cast includes Tawny Newsome, Jack Quaid, Noel Wells, Eugene Cordero, Don Lewis, Jerry O'Connell, Fred Tassazor, and Gillian Vigman. And the runtime of this episode is 25 minutes. And the plot of this episode is the Lower Decks go on a classic cave mission. Now, I know that sounds like a classic cave mission, but this episode really does break down that all the cave episodes of Star Trek can be like pigeonholed into very certain types of things, and then you even start to think about it. So let's go into my spoiler-free thoughts, guys. So I really like the format of this episode. So it's kind of like there's an overarching story of like, oh, what happens to like the 4 crew members, the 4 lower deck ones that we follow, and then each one has an individual story about something that happened in a cave or similar to a cave. It's really funny. I ended up having like a lot of fun with this episode. It's weird because they don't really do this. At least I can't think of them doing this before. But the way, this is very similar kind of to the episode where they were like seeing different crews, except it's different, but that's the basic idea of what I can say. It's like a clip show, and each one of the clips is an individual member of the Cerritos minus one person with somebody else from the Cerritos. So like it's not like Boimler is going to be with Mariner in their little story. It's like, oh, they're with someone else. And like it's different interactions with different people. It's really cool. I really enjoyed that about it. Because we don't usually see some of these pairings, like, with the spoiler-free section. I won't say who the pairings are, but it's very interesting. In the spoiler section, I'll talk more about the pairings. And I love how the episode throws cracks at the whole how we do caves, because when you really think about it, yeah, they kind of just do the same thing with caves over and over again, so I was just having fun with that. And it was also cool that I think this is the first time this season since they've been promoted. I think it's the first time all 4 of them are together. I'm not counting T'Lyn since she's barely been with them this season. But yeah, it's like our 4 main heroes are all together, and it was very cool to see them all together. And even the stuff that happens in those individual stories, I thought was really cool. And like I said, I had a lot of fun with this. Is it my favorite episode of the season? No, it actually might be my least favorite, but I still had a lot of fun with it. So let's talk about the bad. So the bad is, I don't think this was the right episode after episode 7. Episode 7, I think, set up like so much that I would have continued the main season arc with it. Us completely skipping in this episode just didn't work for me. At the same time, I would have put this somewhere where we had the Ferengi Planet episode, and there was another one where it's like, oh, it would have been great with like this section of like, oh, we're not really doing the main season arc here. Let's just put these episodes together. Putting it here just didn't work for me. I don't know why, I just didn't. I felt like, oh, it was... I really wanted something that's going to be part of the main story. So, yeah, clip episode just didn't work for me. I did think the cave stuff, it might have been a bit too much. Saying like, oh, most cave things are like just go, like, even making the joke, like, they're all the same. And it's just like, yeah, but that kind of like might turn someone off to like, if they're rewatching someone's watching like any of the old Star Treks for the first time and they stumble upon a cave episode, like, that might be a turnoff for some of them. So I'm like, I don't know if you should be saying that out loud, but at the same time, this is the show that makes fun of Star Trek. So it's like, it's all good. So let's actually move on to my score for this episode, guys. I'm going to give episode 8 a 7 out of 10 for good. Like I said, it's not my favorite, but I still thought it was pretty good. Actually, this might not be my least favorite of the season. I think, I won't say which one. I'll talk about that in the season review. But yeah, so giving this a 7 out of 10 for good. I definitely recommend people watch because it's a little bit different change of pace. Like I said, it wasn't that I thought this was bad. It was just like after the last episode where we actually find out more information from episode 7, I was just like, I want to go into something regarding the story, and them kind of skipping it, it didn't feel right to me, but it's not saying that it was bad at all. All right, so let's actually now move into the spoiler section, guys. If you're not going to join us for that, no worries. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. But yeah, guys, let me give you your warning for the spoilers, and then we'll go all into that. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, welcome into the spoiler section. I'm kind of going to put this a little bit smaller just because I'm trying to get episode 9 also recorded right now. So basic idea is that we have the 4 main characters. So we have Boimler, Tendi, Mariner, and Rutherford, and they get paired up in this mission to go down to a planet to explore this cave, just do some analysis on some moss, I think was the main thing. And they end up going down there, but then it turns out like they get trapped down there, and the moss is like enlarging, and they can't get out. So they need to find ways to get out of the situation. And they all start talking about like cave things, like cave missions they've been on, minus Tendi. She keeps talking about a time that they got stuck on an elevator, or a astrolift elevator. Yeah, an elevator. And it was just funny because Mariner kept saying, elevator story is not the same thing as a cave story. But like the way she was trying to do was really cute. So let's actually start with the first one. So Boimler was trapped with the conspiracy theorist Lieutenant Levi on Carrion 4. And it's funny because you can tell Boimler's just like, dude, what the hell are you doing? You're gonna get us into more crap. Like, why are you making all these decisions? You think everything's a conspiracy. Like, you're gonna get us killed because you think everything's a conspiracy. And then the plot twist happens, and he actually saves them because he thinks everything's a conspiracy. And it turns out that one of his conspiracies about the mysterious Vendorians turned out to be true, and they were actually testing them to see, like, oh, would you guys actually like do friendship stuff, or like would you try to screw each other over? And I was just like, the fact that it turned out to be true, I was just like, all right, this episode's at least a 7 just from that story alone. So that's the first story, and it wasn't a bad story. I was like, oh, cool. You could tell like there was some tension with the rest of them after Boimler told the story because they didn't know about it. And then it turns out that Boimler still hung out with the guy a little bit more, and they were like, oh, without us? And it's just like, okay, calm down, Rutherford. Now we go on to Rutherford's story, and he recounts that him and Dr. T'Ana were trapped on Balkus 9, where he gave birth to an alien baby. And I'm not making that up. So this alien race, I think she got hurt by this other monster type thing, creature. That turns out it's not a good creature, it's just protecting its young, and the doctor was, not the doctor, the archaeologist, I don't know what the hell she is. She ended up trying to like take out their babies, and she didn't know it was that creature's baby, and we find that later, but whatever that. Let's go back to Rutherford. As that lady, the blue lady, is getting killed, or she's dying, her species has a way of kind of like living on by moving their body into something like being reborn. And she decided to be reborn from Rutherford. So Rutherford ended up giving birth to a baby, a blue little baby, and it was Dr. T'Ana and Rutherford that ended up taking care of the child. So that was really cool. But then they ended up running into that beast again, and Rutherford ended up messing with the translator to be able to communicate with it. And it turns out, like, yeah, the thing was trying to protect its baby that was inside that little pond thing. And it was just crazy. Like, there was all misunderstanding. If they would have been able to communicate, it would have all been squared away. So that was really cool. And I enjoyed that story. I don't think we've had a lot of Dr. T'Ana and Rutherford mixing together. So it was like a nice little, like, oh, I haven't seen this combination, but it actually worked really well. So I really like that story as well. Not as great as the Boimler one, but I still had fun. The thought of Rutherford giving birth, though, and even what they did show, it's like, gross. Yeah. All right, so now we moved on to Mariner. And Mariner's mission was that she was going to lead Delta Shift on Gillish. And they were, like, constantly, like, fighting against each other, and they weren't really working as a team. I don't think she knew really had to like work with them. But then as they get through, like they were like, oh no, we're all on the same side. Like you get to see things from Delta Shift's point of view, and then Mariner talking to them about it. And it was really cool seeing like, oh yeah, maybe things can be better with them. And it was I really enjoyed this. It was just like she was able to get teamwork going for them to be able to get rescued. Though one guy did lose a leg, and it was like gross. I was just like, oh, okay, he lost his leg. They're like, we're just gonna grow you a new one. It's like, that's his leg. It's like, oh man, okay, that's weird. And then finally, then the moss, like we're done with the cave stories. The moss ended up becoming, turns out like it's sentient and it wanted to hear Tendi's story, so it wouldn't let them leave until Tendi told the story. And it was just Tendi talking about like her first day and how she got trapped on the lift with all of them, and it ended up like them being stuck there is what helped make them friends. And she's just like, it was very sweet of Tendi being like, that was the thing that really made me like feel welcomed here and things like that. And it's just like, it's really cool to hear that from Tendi. I don't think we really get that much emotional stuff from her like that, because she even like her family stuff, I don't think we saw anything about Orion stuff like too much until pretty recently. Like we saw stuff in an earlier season about like how everyone else treats her, but we never saw her family, so we barely saw it this season. And then now we're seeing like how she really feels about like her friends and how like what they did to make her feel good. So I really enjoyed that. It was a really cool episode. But then it turns out that the whole thing was a thing done by the Vendorians, and it's just like, you know what, screw it, just go with it. The first story ended up being what's going on with them in the moment. But I really enjoyed the episode. Like I said, it's a 7 out of 10 to me. I just didn't like that this episode skipped the season arc. I was just like, this wasn't the time to do it. Not after that big teaser at the end of episode 7. I was like, this wasn't the time to do it. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I really want to know what everyone's thinking about the show. By the time this video comes out, the finale should also be out. The finale should be out on Paramount Plus. So yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.